welcome back to another day in the arena. It's me, it's CGB, and today in the arena we're taking a look at the color challenge for Simic. And this Simic deck was very fun. It's a Simic mid-range list. The blue splash is pretty small. Everything that is blue only requires 1 blue mana, so we don't have Frilled Mystic or anything like that. So the mana is pretty clean, as all the double stuff is double green. We don't get caught with, say, a Jade Light Ranger or a Frilled Mystic stuck in our hand. And it is the Explore package, as I'm sure you've seen, but powered up with Hadana's Climb and the power of the Crab People. So it creates a nice mucky board and then flies over the top of it by flipping Hadana's Climb into the Winged Temple of Orzhov, which are, I mean, look at this thing. Are those just wings? This thing just flaps around. Isn't that crazy? Temple with wings. Ixalan. We also powered up with some of the strong cards from green, like Vivian Reed and Carnage Tyrant, and our late game features the mighty Hydroid Crassus. I find this, honestly, a little bit more fun than Sultai and Golgari. I'm not sure exactly what it is. Maybe it's the power of the Hadana's Climb. Maybe it's the fact that we're not finality spamming Chupacabras. That was fun a while ago. I have less fun with it now. I'm just kind of over it. But yeah, I actually really enjoy turning things to frogs too. I get weird pleasure out of turning a Lyra into a frog, things of that nature. Against the primary decks of the format, like red and white, we just play a Wild Growth Walker and make it huge. The blue matchup is much tougher if we don't have enough power early. We basically have to race them, the mono blue decks. There's not a lot we can do about the flying creature with Curious Obsession. Actually, incubating druiding it isn't very likely, and Vivian reading it is really hard because of Spell Pierce. Hydroid Crassus getting in the way is usually the best chance, but that takes still turn like 5 or 6 to be very good. So we just try to race them. All right. We also have Carnage Tyrant in here just to give Esper control a bit of a hard time, and also to go over the top of decks doing very similar things. Also, Hexproof Flying, double-powered Hadana's Climbing Carnage Tyrant is rather glorious. All right, now that I've talked about the deck some, let's go play some games. A quick thing to mention as I consider this hand is that the supporters only videos are up for this month. There is one that is the regular supporters video with Gutter Snipe Burn, and we do over 20 damage in just one turn. I believe it was turn 4. The other video is because a supporter on Patreon made a $30 pledge, and it is an Esper Mill Mnemonic Betrayal deck. Those 2 videos are available for supporters only on Patreon. It's only $1.99 if you wish to support the channel. Now let's talk about this hand. I have Incubation and Wild Growth Walker. I'm hoping Incubation can find an Explorer creature and keep the land coming, and that is why I'm going to keep it. It's a bit risky. If we don't find the Explorer creature or the land, obviously a lot of bad things can happen here. For example, if I Incubation and there's 5 lands on top of my deck, and then I never draw another, it will be a tragedy. So let's lead with the Forest and the Incubation, looking for Explorer creature. Did it. We got one. Time to learn what our opponent is up to. They've got the Vivian Reed Avatar and a Plains to kick things off. I'm going to pay 2 life, and here is Wild Growth Walker, ready to start the party. So ideally we explore into a forest and play a Llanowar Elf next turn. Let's see what happens. That is awkward, but I'm going to graveyard it and hope to top deck a basic forest anyway. All right, time to start sweating. It'll be a very slow turn to play Llanowar Elf and do nothing else next turn. So there's a very big draw step coming up. Our opponent so far showing some green and white and nothing else. That is very uncharacteristic for, say, a green-white tokens deck. So maybe it's a green-white Angels deck? Of course, I'm just guessing. It's one of my favorite ways to pass the time. opponent's facing down a tough turn 2 decision. The rope's getting close. They do have 0 timeouts. If it hits 0, they basically lose their turn, and they do pass their turn and discard a Cleansing Nova, which is an interesting giveaway for sure. We have 2 creatures on the board. I can be confident there's another Cleansing Nova somewhere. Fortunately, our opponent didn't make a land drop, but now I know I have to be very wary of a sweeper. Regardless, I think we have to play out the Llanowar Elf so that Jadelight Ranger can find us more lands, because without more lands, we're not playing the game. Anyway. You go UK. Yeah, and you very much go yourself too. And that's game. We got stuck on 2 lands, so did our opponent, but our opponent doesn't look like their deck can function from that position. 1 win in the bag. The Vivian Reed avatar is back, and this time we go first with an Elf, a Branchwalker, Incubation, and a Carnage Tyrant, which I think I like, so I'm going to roll with it. Speaking of Incubation, the Incubation Druid is a card that is absent in this deck. I don't really enjoy that card, to be honest. It hasn't done enough for me. It gets shocked too often, and it doesn't seem to block anything. It just isn't the card for me, to be honest, Incubation Druid. I know some of you will probably leave in comments that you wish to see that card in the deck. So I'm just being proactive and telling you my personal feelings on the card. Anyway, let's incubate for some explory thing, and yeah, another Branchwalker is great. We did put a Hadana's Climb and a Vivian Reed on the bottom of the deck, which is too bad. It often doesn't matter too much what gets put on the bottom of the deck, but you may want to keep it in mind if the game goes very long. That's a decent draw here. Let's put out a Merfolk Branchwalker and see if we find another land. I also, now that I have Growth Chamber Guardian to come out after a Kaya's Wrath, I think I just want to build the board as aggressively as possible, hit the opponent as hard as I can. That's a good one to keep. Drop them to 17. White mana. Mana available for Absorb. Let's go ahead and slam the opponent. I'm expecting a Kaya's Wrath. Oh, we're picking a target. Mortify. Okay, well, that's not the play of somebody with a Kaya's Wrath. I think I'll take 2 and play a Baby Crassus. Just to get that going. Oh, not a good draw. You don't want to draw on Growth Chamber Guardians when you have a Growth Chamber Guardian. And stuck on lands, the opponent's going to pass the turn. Alright. Let's slam you again. I could hold this back, but I don't want to. And since the opponent's likely sitting on an Absorb and or a Kaya's Wrath, I'm just going to say go. Not give them something to absorb and gain life. Basic Island means no Kaya's Wrath. Esper mana will get you. But what about Settle the Wreckage? Well, what about it? I suppose I can recover very well and just play more lethal threats. But just in case, I'll leave 1 creature back that can threaten lethal next turn. Okay, our opponent does run Settle. The game goes on. We reshuffle that Vivian and that Hadana's Climb back into the deck, so that's good. Here is Growth Chamber Guardian. I'll use it to go get another Growth Chamber Guardian, so we still have 2 lethal threats. Vraska's Contempt. That will keep our opponent alive for another turn. Crafty. But let's get in there. And let's go with the Growth Chamber Guardian. What do you have, an Opt? Or just some full control shenanigans for the bluffs? So, again, I'm pretty sure our opponent's going to have to act, so getting around Absorb shouldn't be very hard. But if I play the Llanowar Elf, it does threaten to kill the opponent next turn as well, so I will. Like, through another Vraska's Contempt, I mean. So if the opponent had another Vraska's Contempt, these two would still be lethal. Oh, they've ripped 3 land in a row. Let's see if the cards in their hand can bail them out. Another Contempt. And that's game. I was also ready if there was a, what's the card? Moment of Craving, too. Because I could incubation my own creature and turn it into a frog, I think. Unless I have to reread incubation and it's only a creature the opponent controls, but I think it's any creature. And that can stop the life gain from a Contempt or a Moment of Craving. Yeah, it's any creature. All right. So, turn 1, Incubation. Turn 2, hopefully a 2-drop, Explorer, Creature, or Wild Growth Walker. Turn 3, Hadana's Climb. Let's roll. Mountain, and let the games begin. Our hand is actually not well suited for the red matchup. I'm probably looking for like a Growth Chamber Guardian. Okay, I've got a turn 2 creature now. I might have to shock myself to play it, which is really unfortunate, and that is the worst. that doesn't happen very often. Wow. Not a good look here on camera. Opponent getting lit. They hit 2 lands, which they'll only get to get 1 because they already played their land for the turn for reasons I don't understand. But there you go. I'll go with the Guardian. And the reason I go with the Guardian here is if I draw a wild or find a Wild Growth Walker, I want to pair that with the Branchy. It does suck to shock myself. This game is spiraling pretty badly. We'll see how the red deck takes advantage. Yep, Chain Whirler and a Firebrand. Could be worse, I suppose. But that Chain Whirler is going to be annoying. I wonder if I'm supposed to be... I wonder if I'm supposed to turn it into a frog. It's like, when am I going to block this? Probably never. I don't think that's a good look, though. I think I've got to go find, like, a Wild Growth Walker to be in this game. Well, I found a Hydroid Crassus. I think I'll take another Branchy, though, to get even deeper into the deck. Another green source would be nice, and we got it. But it's another shock land to keep it nice and awkward up in here. Oh boy, Dub's Chain Whirler. Yeah, that doesn't help me much either, so I'm still just throwing fodder in front of the mighty First Striking Goblin Warrior. Why does it have First Strike? Does it not have enough abilities? Dreadshade doesn't have Fear or Intimidate or one of those weird black abilities. Benelish Marshal doesn't have Vigilance. Like, seriously, why? I guess because Tempest had Flying? It's so stupid. Like, why? Why you has these abilities? Alright, I better just chump block just to keep my life total reasonable, but I don't know what draw I could have here that would get me back in the game. This is a 4-4. I guess I'll play a 4-4. Now the opponent just has to brick so hard on Experimental Frenzy. Like nothing you've ever seen before. Alright, down to 1. Not quite dead. And dead. Where was this last game? I'm gonna try it. Hopefully we're against Mono Red again. This is so silly. But I can't resist hands like these when I'm recording. Just spamming the same card over and over and over. I don't know why. For some reason I find it entertaining. Maybe you do too. I'm not sure. But black-red to start out. Smells like Grixis control, but who knows? Eh? Alright, Lava Coil. Rakdos midrange, perhaps? I think that could be an interesting matchup. Let's keep these coming. Let's just keep dropping some wild growth up in here. Sovereign's Bite? Oh no, it's a burn deck. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'll make you deal with another one. Oh boy. This is gonna be a show. If our opponent has double skewer the critics here, though, my head might explode. But that wouldn't make sense. They definitely would have done that rather than light the stage, right? I think they would have. I think so. What now? Island. Okay. I mean, I needed the blue source. I would have preferred the green source. Alright, play you. I'm just going to jam with my Wild Growth Walkers. Go beat down. You're gonna team up with a shock on this one? That's fine too. Take another little 2-for-1. Okay. Take action. And you can have these lands. It's totally fine. Rakdos Burn. Haven't seen this deck in a hot minute. Merchant likes Rakdos Burn. Might be the only person on planet Earth. But I think some people pull it out every now and then. Alright. Let's explore even more. I have Carnage Tyrants and Vivian Reeds I'd like to play in this video at some point, as well as Hadana's Climb. Like, these are all fun cards I really want to play that I haven't got to yet. Have been stuck in the hand for the most part, while the Wild Growth package just does its thing. Yeah, why not? The opponent can do like a block sacrifice, whatever they want to do with the Firebrand. Just get it gone. It is the spectacle enabling that I'm most concerned about. Allowing them to do a whole bunch of light up the stages and tricks in one turn. Maybe it's a Theater of Hoarders deck, you never know. So, Vivian Reed or another Branch Walker. Or a Flip Hadana's Climb, which I haven't played much with yet. I think I like the Vivian Reed. Oh boy. Oh boy. Big jellyfish. How much more can you take? Pretty sure the burn deck at this point is going to have a hard time getting back in it. And whatever all these are, don't think it's going to save you. What do you think all these are? Just, if they were burn spells, wouldn't they have hit something by now? Alright, we got a Viashio and Pyromancer. Well said, Vivian. All right.
Come to me.
I'll take land number, mana source number 6, and we'll drop a dino. Roar. I don't know what these are, if they're land or what. It's like, come on now. What could this deck actually be holding back with that much mana? Wouldn't be Risk Factor. I say that, but then, oh, okay, Lightning Strike on the Elf. That was why I played the Carnage Tyrant first main too. Sometimes during combat, people will kill the Elf if they think of something they don't want you to do second main. And I thought it was very low risk just to get it out there. Light the stage, another Fanatical Firebrand, more 1-mana cards. Maybe it's a Banefire, but it just doesn't seem like that would get the job done. And I think the Wild Growth Walker would have been Banefired by now.
Meet my newest friend.
Let's grab... I'm going to grab one of these and gonna throw the frickin' climb at our opponent now. Should be able to get the job done. So now that we have enough mana, we can Hadana's Climb, flip it, and activate at the same turn. And we'll target our Wild Growth Walker because it doesn't have trample as is, and we want to fly over the top of this fanatical firebrand over here. And there's a big old, just when you thought they didn't get much bigger, there's a big old Wild Growth Walker. So yeah, to flip the climb and use the climb the same turn takes 6 lands, or 6 mana sources. 2 of them have to be blue, and you have to have at least 2 +1/+1 counters on a creature already. And then you get to do a big old awesome Hadana's Climb attack. This hand contains the Llanowar Elf, Growth Chamber Guardian, Wildgrowth Walker, and Jadelight Ranger. Just the whole early game ensemble together. Our opponent is Spiky Guy. Hello, Spiky Guy. Look at me being all emoting. Spiky Guy uses Teferi Emblem, so they know where the power lies. I'm already expecting some kind of an Esper control. So let's start the party. Never mind. Here we go again. So, do I go for the turn 2 Wild Growth Walker? I think I'll go for the turn 2 Growth Chamber Guardian. It just, like the Wild Growth Walker, it needs to be killed immediately. So let's make the opponent has the answer. And it is a shock. Well, I was hoping they'd have to burn a Lightning Strike. Ooh, they miss a land drop. I'm going for it then. I'm going for it. 1 mana, 3 damage doesn't exist without a wizard on the board, or without Spectacle, so let's hope they don't top deck Mountain. Alright, Fanatical Firebrand. That can take out the Jadelight Ranger, and then I am out of gas, so this Ranger needs to scry me to some goodies. But Wild Growth Walker can and will take on the whole red deck. Oh my god. Oh my god, that is a lot of land. We're gonna need that Hydroid Crassus. Alright, the opponent scoops, and it's a good thing we may have drawn nothing but land for the foreseeable ever. Wow. We are on the draw. We have an elf, a walker. If we draw explore creatures, that's good. A pair of Crassi. It will do. Our opponent is the XO. We'll shoot them a hello as well. Let me tuning up my sportsmanship. Hey, they set it back. They set it back. Turn 2 Hadana's Climb off the top is exciting. And there's an Orzhov Enforcer. So our opponent with a bit of a brew going. I'm going to get the climb running right away, because I feel like it. I haven't done as much with the climb, and I don't have an explorer creature to go with the walker just yet, so flipping the climb can make for a bigger, stronger Crassus. So our first Crassus can come down next turn with 2 counters, climb it, 3 counters, flip climb, next turn bigger Crassus, or that can be the plan. Plans change. There's a Growth Chamber Guardian. Whenever a counter is placed on a Growth Chamber Guardian, you get to search your library for another Growth Chamber Guardian. The problem with that is they max out at 3/3. You can't adapt them after there is a counter on them. But the bright side is you get to search for more Growth Chamber Guardians. I think, given that our opponent's on a Midnight Reaper kind of Afterlife deck that's probably going to be slower, I'm going to need these to be as strong as possible, and my Air Force will probably be good. So I think that taking this route is the right way to play it. And we'll put a counter on the Guardian. We'll take that action, search up another one. No attacks with Llanowar Elves, and I'll play the other Guardian. So I have 2 Guardians now to put counters on should one die. And this one I can adapt into a 4/4 if I wish. Seraph of the Scales, yep. There's our first big flyer out here. So I think what I want to do with this turn is grow this Guardian and then put another counter on it and flip the Climb. That will make it a 4/4 and search up the last 2 Growth Chamber Guardians. So I'm going to do that first. We'll move to combat. We'll put another counter on this Guardian, flip Hadana's Climb, take the action, go get another one. I'm not going to attack though. This Death Toucher is a bit of a problem. My strategy is going to have to be to go way over the top with the giant Hydroid Crassus, and we do have the Arch of Araska to grind with, so let's play out the other Guardians because we can. I have to be a little concerned for a Kaya's Wrath, which is scary. So, probably not just trying to spam the board here. At some point, I need to start attacking, but this Midnight Reaper and the Afterlife effects do advantage the opponent quite a bit in those exchanges. So I think what I need to do is wing Temple and just go over the top quite a bit. Just throw a strong over-the-top presence in every turn until the Seraph is gone. Or we just get the big trampling Hydroid Crassus going, which is probably better. So I'll play my first Hydroid Crassus for 5. Since this has trample, I get a lot more out of the attacks with it than I would something else. Well, at some point there's going to be a party on this Explore. At some point we're throwing an Explore party. I don't know when, but it will happen. Memorial to Folly. Hunted Witness. Yeah, it's a lot of death effect, and I am watching out for a Tesa, and a Priest of the Forgotten Gods would be 2 very frustrating cards to run up against. Ooh. You can take out this so that the Death Touch doesn't take out my Crassus. But then the 1/1 spirits can fly back over and kill the Vivian Reed. I think I'm better off plussing Vivian. We could also take out the Legion's Landing or hold it to take out a Divine Visitation. Both of those cards are big problems. Yeah, I think I'm going to send the Crassus and Winged Temple it. No blocks? Alright. Take 10. Alright, I'm going to hold the rest, and I guess I could pump this Guardian. Is something I can do with my mana. And there's the Visitation. Oh boy. Oh boy! It's about to get real. Real. The opponent doesn't attack to flip the landing. Alright, Vivian. You have a job to do.
Wild animals alive. No one said restoration was painless.
Alright, shot through the heart, and you're to blame. Vivian Reed gives love a bad name. I think I forgot to grow the Growth Chamber Guardian. Oopsie. Give myself an oopsie on that. So, a chump block to absorb a little bit of damage, draw a card, and make 2 tokens. Unfortunately, Vivian's going down for reals, but that's the way of the world. Let's play one of these Wild Growth Walkers. Still, the opponent's at 7. If they don't gain life, the Crassus can finish them. If they don't gain life or kill the Crassus. Okay, they found a Tribunal. What do you target? You should target the Hydroid Crassus. They go after Vivian instead. They could have attacked Vivian to death with the Flyers and taken away the Hydroid Crassus, but now they're dead. They can go up to 8. They can block 2. Yeah, they're dead. As long as I don't block any of the rest of the things that make Flyers, like Tithe Taker. Target there. Send it in. And that's game. His hand has 2 Llanowar Elves, a Hydroid Crassus Incubation. I guess the idea of ramping into a big Crassus and possibly finding another is appealing enough that I'll try the hand. I'm a bit worried about red mages killing my elves and this hand doing nothing, but we will try. Our opponent, Babby KB, shoot a hello as they prepare to slaughter me. Here's another elf. Runaway Steamkin, that's not good. That's a problem. Elf down. Even giving the opponent a frog is a big no-no. But Steamkin can just slaughter you. We do have an interesting curve where we can play the Crassus, and if it doesn't die, we can flip it with Hadana's Climb. We can flip Hadana's Climb with it, I might say. Well, that's straightforward enough. The natural predator of the Llanowar Elf. Okay, I think I'm going to say go and turn that into a frog, as much as I hate it. And I should probably do that on upkeep before the opponent can get the mana out of it, now that it's on 3. So, yep, 2 damage. And frog. If we let the opponent go to their main phase and they could play a spell and get the last counter on it at instant speed, they could use the mana that turn. Okay, I'm going to need a Wild Growth Walker. Not much else is going to save me here. Carnage Tyrant, you a bit slow. He been slow. I guess I'll trade off with the Pyromancer. It is too bad because I'd love to flip Hadana's Climb and try to ramp here. But I can't be sure that this Crassus will live and won't get bolted in response to the climb. So yeah, I better take my block. Ouch. Alright, 5th mana. We can go with Merfolk Branchwalker. Growth Chamber Guardian. I think what I need is another land for a Carnage Tyrant. So I'm going to bin you. And we'll play Hadana's Climb. Put a counter here and hope this survives long enough to block something. Looks like it does. That's the bright side. Down to 7. Is it lethal? Ouch. Okay. Well, we do what we must. Well, the land was there, but it was a shock land. Now we have a 4/4 and a flipped temple. And another Crassus to play. This could get interesting. But there's Experimental Frenzy, which is a big problem. But the opponent won't attack here. I think I just Carney T. It's hexproof, although Crassus for 6 is pretty huge. And it gains life, so I'll go that route. We might even draw like Jade Light Ranger, Wild Growth Walker. There's the Jade Light Ranger. And yeah, we're gonna try to get to where we can end this game in 2 hits, which we can with these flyers. The opponent's headed upstairs. Let's see how crazy their frenzy gets. They're on double Steamkin now, so if they hit a stretch of spells, they can play them all. Is that going to be enough? Or will they hit another land in here? Or another frenzy? And they hit something. Alright. Carnage Tyrant. Forest Jade Light Ranger. So, I'll probably only need to attack with 1. and I'll just attack with the larger one, just to make sure that I have a lethal attack next turn. Wait, these attack for 10. This attacks for 14. We have a lethal attack next turn anyway. Let's just pass the turn with all the blockers we can get, and hope the opponent has not the greatest frenzy. It's not a good start. And land. And land. 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 Heartbreaker. Okay, this hand actually has Wild Growth Walker, Jade Light Ranger, so we'll keep it. It is the hope against red, which is about all you have. Our opponent is Beku. Say hello to Beku. And an island. So is it the mono blue deck? If it is, our only hope really is to beat them down. Wild Growth Walker does a good job with that. And there is the passing of the turn. So do we go for the Wild Growth Walker? Into the open mana? I don't think I want to attack into it. That's pretty sure. I do want to find an island, and maybe the Growth Chamber Guardian would get countered. So I can play around Spell Pierce here with the incubation. Trickster. In response, I would like to tap this for mana. And what do we get? I'll get the Llanowar Elf. And I'll play the Guardian. It's a bigger threat. I think I can get my opponent to tap mana. There we go. Alright. Well, now that I'm racing one of these, it's an interesting concept here. Yeah. I gotta fight one of these now. It's different. Let's play you and you. And I'm sure it's say go. No, it's Tardicourse. Okay, that doesn't Wizard's Retort. It might Essence Capture. Let's try for another Wild Growth first. Resolves. I don't like that. I feel like I should save these for next turn. Play around play around 2 Essence Captures or 2 counters of some kind. And pass turn. I definitely need to explore it at least once. Oh my. Oh my. I think I can draw and explore a counter with the Branch Walker and then play the Jade Light. So doing that both in the same turn's a big deal. Ooh. Well, I don't think I can wait anymore. That resolved. That's kind of wild to me. Still no blue, though. I find that very scary. So what I'm going to do is get out the other Wild Growth Walker. And next turn we'll go for the Jade Light Ranger. Those Tempest Djinns are monsters, though. Oh my god. Oh my god. Alright. If this Jade Light gets countered, I'm toast, but they didn't have it last time. I'll test with this Growth Chamber Guardian. No? Okay. It's on. Alright, something got blinked. I don't need another one of you, but we found the island. So that helps the Hydroid Crassus situation. Alright, all of that. Island, we'll replay the Walker. And you are getting in there. The opponent's going to be attacking me for frickin' 15, though. How much do I have on the battlefield? 1, 2, 3, 4, 8. 12, 15, 17. I have lethal. If the opponent swings all in. Ooh. Okay. Just saving 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I have lethal if they don't have another blocker. So I'm expecting them to play something here. Okay, they got it. Ooh, okay. I think I'm better off with the Crassus than the Climb, though. But then the opponent attacks, even if I get to block something. I guess I'm not dead. Not quite dead. Climb can be spell pierced. Creatures have been resolving. So if this doesn't... Yeah, I should attack first, though. I could attack with the Growth Chamber Guardian, but I wouldn't want to be forced to use my mana. And I also should consider a dive down. I don't think I can get my opponent to block away their Jhin. So is this really a good attack if I'm going to just basically lose something? Well, these cards are all kind of foddery, and I don't think the game's going to go that long. So I'm just going to attack with these and just get some damage through. If there's a double block there, it must be a dive down, so I'm going to place the Mistcloaked Herald first. The opponent definitely doesn't have to play a dive down here, but my strategy versus dive down is to ignore it. And this way, I'm at least going to kill the Herald. Alright, got you in striking distance. Play you for 5. Alright, 4th Wild Growth Walker and an Explorer creature. Let's see if the opponent can move the Crassus out of the way. They have it. They have it. Good game. Too bad. Heartbreaker. I probably played that game a touch too cautiously. Which, how can you not? It's a blue deck full of counter spells. Thank you for watching this video. I enjoy the Simic Climb deck, and I do think it is fun to play. I would not play it trying to ladder very much. I don't think you can play any kind of mid-range deck on ladder without 2-mana removal spells, just because of mono blue and mono red. Runaway Steamkin and anything with Curious Obsession specifically. But I think it's fun for a few events and an interesting deck to try out in the Simic colors. Thank you for watching this video. As always, I will see you in the next video. Goodbye. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, or leave a comment. You can also support the channel on Patreon for special perks. Links are in the description. Our sponsors are HauntedFlower.com and FlipsideGaming.com. Haunted Flower sells officially licensed MTG apparel and accessories, and Flipside Gaming sells MTG cards and supplies. You can save 10% on either site with the promo code CGB, and it supports the channel at the same time. See you next time for another day in the arena. For now, it's me, it's CGB, signing out.